Welcome back, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you because it's been a mission of mine this month. So I started January 14th making videos every single day on YouTube, and in 3 weeks, I've hit 100 subscribers. So that means that there's 100 people. So if I was to put 100 people in a room, that's kind of wild. Okay. And what we do on this channel is that I've been talking about AI, crypto, and essentially the mergence between two, the markets, using my past experience being now in crypto for the past 4 years, and as well as just previous to that in e-commerce for 10 years. So building products and businesses around building passive income, and how AI even is kind of being a convergence of the both. Today, I'm going to talk about what it's like to build a crypto startup in 2025 as a startup founder, although I hate that term because you're not really a founder until you have something successful. Or really, I don't know, just the term is weird. You're just a business owner, you're trying to figure it out. I just like to think of myself as a brick and mortar guy, and I'm just building this brick and mortar type thing that's online, and that's about it. Okay. So I want to talk about the experience I've had now over the past 6 months of starting my startup and what it's been like from inception, idea, how the journey has been from growing a team, building an MVP, finding product market fit, research, what it is this product that I'm building, the business model growth that I have, and in this space specifically, whether you want to go through getting capital investors involved or not, and when does it really make sense. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. First, obviously, you have to have an idea. How do you figure out what it is that idea? I would suggest really just finding a problem in the market and how you think that your idea can solve it. Right. So obviously, this is like the number one thing. You need a problem solving idea, and so the solution really needs to be painful. Like the problem needs to be painful enough that people are willing to migrate or pay to use this product of yours. Okay. So for me, obviously, I've been in e-commerce. I'm leaning into exactly what I've done for 10 years before coming into the space, and just knowing the problems in that industry and what I've seen now currently in the Web3 space for what I believe needs to happen for moving forward. And what I think the consensus is already kind of happening. You can see that generally in the public, for what use cases needs to come to the space, right? Like I think the type of consumer that's currently in the space, while they are short-term capital investors, let's put those people aside. The other people in the stablecoin space and those individuals that are currently also are hungry to want to use other products in the crypto world, um, they want to touch stuff. They want things of value. They want to use products that have value and in some ways gives back to the consumer for using it. So it's about retaining your customer and so on. So for me, I'm building a non KYC reliant Web3 e-commerce platform where we also offer copyright protection for our consumers for their original work. And why? Why am I building it? Currently in the entire realm of the centralized e-commerce platforms and currently in the Web3 world, there is no single market where there is everything that is like everything that is Web3. Whether you're buying a software, you're buying a code from GitHub, you're buying the best alpha trading community, or you want to get like some sort of freelancing services that are also Web3 related, whether it's design work, developer work, even consulting work, anything, right? There isn't one market you go and you shop. There isn't the Amazon of Web3. And so that was my idea. Blockchain technology does this so well, which is like just payments, where I can send from point A to point B, from one person to another with no intermediary. And you don't have to do KYC. Obviously, everybody knows this. So how can you build something that is an e-commerce platform that's not reliant on KYC, but as a form of reputation for the merchant and creator to know that they're legitimate and they're selling legitimate products? Um, and and how can you use this tech, right, to solve that? So what we've done is we have three things that's on chain. The first thing is obviously the reputation of the merchant, creator, or builder, or freelancer, whoever it is that's selling their product service on our platform. So their reputation is on chain. So which means all their activities, their revenue numbers, their reviews, the amount of listings that they have, and all these different things is on chain. So we promote good behavior and we punish bad behavior. So there's different rankings in our seller system that we have. It's a tier. And the other way is you can put up collateral, get a higher merchant account, and then that gives you better fees, more listings, um, higher revenue caps, and so forth. The other thing that's on chain is the payment. All right, so that's just the payment of USDC or whatever token. The third thing that's on chain is the ability to protect and copyright protection, so the IP of the original work of the creator. And the way we do that is we actually mint the metadata of the content on chain, and so that gives the right to claim for the individual to pursue anything further. And the second thing is if somebody was trying to resell their product on our platform, that will be stopped. Now, how do you go about finding product market fit? Is there people who really want to use this product? The way I went about it was I literally went and I messaged maybe 100 to 150, maybe more, okay, creators on other e-commerce platforms. And I specifically asked them, I just kind of went in with a question and I created a form even. And I would just ask them, like, genuinely, what were things that they preferred or wished the platform that they're on didn't offer, and they wished that it had or provided. Okay. And most times it was essentially the fact that they wanted to earn in stable coins rather than going through fiat and those centralized long wait, long payout schedules, those long verification periods. They have to go and serve these documents and provide these KYC documents for their business accounts. But these individuals who come from these emerging markets don't necessarily have this, right? They don't have a utility bill with their business names. They don't have a business bank account, and they don't want to go through all those different hurdles and barriers. So the other thing is, because they're selling Web3 related products and services, and their customers are buying these Web3 related products and services, the customer always comes to them and says, "Hey man, can I just pay you in crypto?" And then they're always suggesting to go offline and do the transaction via Telegram. And what happens is like the merchant always gets the short end of the stick, because there really is no intermediary that's checking whether the payment and the work that's being received is essentially they're fulfilling their part of the order, right, on both sides, and get as much validation as much as possible. So I have now a list of users that are essentially saying that they wish that there was a platform where they're not paying all these exorbitant fees. They're not waiting these long payout times. They're not waiting, these long verification periods. And then the second thing is they don't want to compete against Web2 specific designers, freelancers, products. Like, they want their own market where they can get their own exposure. So now I had people who were like, "Yo, we want this type of product." Validation. The third thing I started doing was like, okay, I built a team. For us, it's obviously one backend engineer, three front-end engineers as of now, and a UI UX individual. What you need to do is you need to tell them the vision of the product, the idea, the fact that people are willing to use this product, and get them on board. And start, which is number 4, building your MVP. It's the minimum viable product. This is just something that when you want to share it with people, you can just give them a link to it, and then they can just automatically, from the use and looking at it, they can get the idea of what it is this product does. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's why it's called MVP. It just needs to give me exactly what it is that it's doing from looking at it. All right. So from there, you need to figure out what's their business model for this product. All right. How is this a business, and how is it going to make money? Right. The other guys are saying that they don't want to pay 20% in fees. I mean, can you afford really just accepting 5 to 10% fees? Like, is that actually going to generate enough income for your business? Is that profitable? And what are some other things that you can help, right? Like, if there's affiliates, a program, right, and you want to help your creators, builders, and your merchants, you want them to have better distributions, but you also want to give opportunities to people who, for example, don't have products, but they have the ability to also earn on this platform. How can you do that? So introducing affiliates program, right? A lucrative way for people to sell products is, if someone is selling a product for $200, but I'm able to get 30% commissions by selling that person's product, and I get $60 for every transaction, and I'm an individual sitting in India or Argentina, and I know that I can make $60 for every product that I don't own, but this other person is fulfilling by me just presenting that product. $60 is a lot for every single sale that I bring in, right? So for the creator or merchant, that's not going to matter if essentially I'm doing less work, but I'm getting more sales because other people are doing the work for me, right? The other thing is you want to introduce maybe some like ad spend, right? Promote your listings to the top of the page. Those will have fees. As a creator, also, you care about increasing your average order value for your products. So if there was upsells and downsells, if the cost for me to bring the customer list may cost me $10, but he's end up buying like a $30 or $40 product, and I'm making $20 in profit, how can I scale that? What if a pop-up shows up that says, hey, with that order, do you want also this, because it complements what you're purchasing, right? And that's an extra $10, let's say. That's an extra feature that you're helping the creator increase their average order value and be able to sell more, create more, earn more, right? You can introduce fees that way, maybe. And all of these are marginal, but you can now come to the portion where you're making a sustainable businesses. And most of these creators don't mind these amount of fees as long as they know that they're consistently creating revenue, creating this passive income, and these features that you're using are actually giving them value. Why not, right? So now you have your business model, your MVP. Most times in a pre-seed, this is essentially where you're going, and whether you want to know, before I get into what it is pre-seed and things like that, you want to figure out whether you can afford to want to just go on your own and basically launch this product without capital investors. Um, this is going to be a decision that you're going to want to make because you want to know, like, what is the long-term vision of your product? Do you want to be here for 5 years, 10 years? With your MVP, how much can you afford to build? And how can you expand from the initial idea of the product? And what's the roadmap? You know what I mean? What's the long-term vision for what you're building? And obviously here in the pre-seed, you're kind of already just reaching out to people you already know, right? Your network, as well as any investor that probably also sees the same or has the same common thesis as you, right? For what it is that you're building, where they see the current market in the Web3 space, if there needs to be more use cases and building more products around stablecoins, is this product also going to be beneficial to exactly the consumers that you're saying? You're saying like, oh, creators or merchants or whatever from emerging markets could use this. And you're saying, hey, I have 200 plus creators already involved and waiting for the beta one, version one of the product. Okay, those are people that are willing to back you. Usually the pre-seed round is small. It can go from 300K to 500K and most at like 1 million even, right? But you're selling a portion of your equity or your tokens, right? That's how it is in Web3. Now, moving on to a seed, most times it's preferable. I mean, in my case, I don't like to go into a VC kind of like sitting underneath them. I prefer to come to the table saying like, here, shut the fuck up in a nice way. Here's my numbers. Here's how many transactions. Here's some revenue. Here's some people that are using the product. This is the roadmap of what we want to build over the course of the next 6 months, 1 year. This is the roadmap for us to start making revenue in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on and so forth. What is the obtainable market, and usually you're going to use investors that you previously knew from pre-seed to make introductions to other investors that also see the same thesis. And other ways also just kind of building your personal brand, going to events, networking, those different things, sharing your vision. You'd be surprised to meet like people who also understand what it is that you're building, and can go ahead and back that idea. A Series A is more so now, like if you're, let's say you're in your second, third, or fourth year already creating revenue, you have a established brand, but you want to expand this. You want to tap into now the Web2 world, right? You want to offer the product to Web2 creators and make the platform more of a UI experience where they understand. You want to abstract the blockchain, and those different things. You're going to have to share a grander vision, a 10-year long vision. And in that case, you're selling at a larger valuation of your company, but you're selling less of the equity in tokens that you own, right? Because they're valued more. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months, and currently, I would say, like it's been a humbling experience being a founder or being a crypto startup or just building a business in crypto, because you go through the emotions of not only building what it is that you are building, your product, but the second thing is you have to also consider is like the market conditions. And obviously, because we're in a very speculative market and industry, emotions change literally within days, and the stress that sometimes you have to go through, and emotional changes that you go through in a day or in a week, varies so insane. It's so insanely different. One day you're like, man, this is the shit, this is the best. The other day you'd be like, man, like what's going on with this market? Is this market even going to be relevant in the next year, right? I think just having a thesis and getting stuck with your vision and being a dog about it, being a dog about it. But I think I always found, for me, I always found it, um, how can I say it, assuring to move forward with what I'm building when I go and I talk to my community. So going to those creators and having a community, whether it's on Telegram, and giving them updates about what you're building, asking them how their day is, what things and how do they would like to get involved. You know what I mean? What are they genuinely always excited about wanting it? Are they consistently asking you like, hey man, when is the product coming out, right? And in some way get them involved, gamify this experience for them. I mean, like we are in crypto, like it is supposed to be. At the end of the day, you give value to your community and users, because these are the guys that are going to want to go in and scream at the top of their lungs what it is that they're using and what product is actually bringing them and changes in their lives. And if you can stick to that rule of building products that offer value, um, I think you're going to stay relevant for the next 3, 4, 5+ years. Okay. And then just put your users first all the time. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, I'm excited to see the channel growing. If you guys want to know more about what we're doing, and every day I'm making content around startups, crypto, AI, how to make passive income in this space as well, and how our platform, Sendit Markets, is going to allow that for people no matter where they're from without any geo restrictions. Um, you know, Join our Telegram group below, subscribe to the channel, and welcome. Cheers.